Dinosaurs, the ancient rulers of Earth, inspire a mixture of awe, curiosity, and mystery unlike any other creatures in natural history. They walked this planet long before humans ever existed, dominating land, sky, and sea for more than 165 million years. To put that into perspective, if the entire lifespan of Earth were a 24-hour clock, dinosaurs existed for more than an hour, while humans have been here for barely a few seconds. These immense spans of time, combined with the incredible diversity of dinosaur species, make them a true marvel of evolution and survival. Their story is not only about giant beasts, it is also a story of adaptation, biological innovation, survival against hostile environments, and eventually, sudden extinction that changed the course of life forever. Dinosaurs first appeared in the late Triassic period, around 230 million years ago. At a time when the world was very different from what we know today, the continents were joined together into one giant landmass called Pangaea. There were no birds in the skies, no mammalian predators lurking in the shadows, and no flowering plants decorating the landscapes. Instead, the Earth was filled with conifers, ferns, and swampy environments with volcanic activity, reshaping the terrain frequently. Early dinosaurs were not the giant monsters popular culture first imagined. They were small, agile, and often overshadowed by other reptiles, but evolution favored them with traits that would eventually allow them to rise. Strong legs designed for speed and balance, lightweight bone structures, advanced respiratory systems, and in some species, early feathers that would one day evolve into wings. As millions of years passed, dinosaurs diversified into countless forms, adapting to nearly every environment imaginable. Some grew massive, towering into the sky like the sauropods. These gentle herbivores had long necks, whip-like tails, pillar-like legs, and cavernous stomachs, capable of processing enormous amounts of vegetation. Creatures like Argentinosaurus and Patagodon became some of the largest land animals in the history of Earth, estimated to weigh as much as 70 tons and stretch over 120 feet long. They roamed vast plains and herds, constantly migrating to find food and water. Their size alone offered protection from predators, and their colossal footprints marked ancient ground like craters from fallen meteors. But not all dinosaurs were giants. Many species evolved lean, athletic bodies designed for hunting and agility. The theropods, a group that includes the iconic Tyrannosaurus rex, were meat-eating predators who perfected the art of survival through keen senses, razor-sharp teeth, and powerful muscles. Tyrannosaurus rex, one of the most studied dinosaurs in history, possessed one of the strongest bite forces ever measured in the animal kingdom. Its massive skull could crush bone, while its forward-facing eyes suggested binocular vision and depth perception. Though often imagined as a lone hunter, some researchers believe it may have used social behaviors or scavenging strategies to survive in a competitive world. Then there was the swift and intelligent velociraptor, which, contrary to popular movie interpretations, was smaller and feathered, resembling an agile, deadly predator close to birds of prey. They hunted in coordinated packs using strategy and speed, with sickle-shaped claws capable of delivering lethal strikes. Their intelligence relative to body size made them one of the most advanced hunters of their time, and their feathered bodies offer a direct evolutionary link to modern birds. In fact, birds are now widely accepted by scientists as direct descendants of dinosaurs, making them the last living dinosaurs still soaring above our modern world. Beyond the hunters and giants, dinosaurs developed a dazzling array of defensive adaptations as well. There were armored dinosaurs like Ankylosaurus, whose back was covered with thick bony plates and whose tail could swing like a sledgehammer, strong enough to break the leg of an attacking tyrannosaur. Triceratops, one of the most recognizable herbivores, evolved with a large frill and 3 sharp horns that could be used for both defense and combat within its own species, much like today's rhinos. Ceratopsians engaged in elaborate displays and territorial battles, with frills adorned with patterns for communication, intimidation, or attracting mates. Environmental shifts and climate cycles forced dinosaurs to evolve constantly. Some developed sharpened beaks for efficient plant consumption. Others evolved complex lungs with air sac systems similar to modern birds, granting incredible stamina. Feathers emerged not only for flight but also for insulation, camouflage, and even display rituals. Bright colors, patterned plumage, and elaborate crests may have filled prehistoric landscapes, creating vibrant species rivaling modern exotic birds. Dinosaurs were never slow, dull, or primitive. They were dynamic, fast, diverse, and behaviorally complex. The seas teemed with other prehistoric reptiles, not technically dinosaurs, such as mosasaurs and plesiosaurs, apex predators who ruled ocean waters, while pterosaurs, winged reptiles, soared across the skies with wingspans exceeding 30 feet. These creatures shared the world with dinosaurs but belonged to separate evolutionary lines. Yet together, they created an ecosystem where survival was a high-stakes competition of speed, power, intelligence, and resilience. Every fossil we uncover is a window into this lost world. The bones we examine show us how muscles attached, how joints moved, and how these creatures walked, ran, fought, and lived. Fossilized footprints reveal herding behavior, migration patterns, and even moments of panic as entire groups fled volcanic eruptions or predators. Rare fossilized skin impressions show scale textures, feather structures, and coloration patterns. Nest sites with eggs and preserved embryos prove dinosaurs cared for their young, a trait modern birds inherited. These discoveries reshape our imagination, replacing cold-blooded lizard monsters with warm-blooded, nurturing, social animals capable of communication, planning, and emotional behaviors. Yet despite all of their power and evolutionary brilliance, dinosaurs faced a sudden and catastrophic end. Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid struck Earth in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact unleashed energy equal to billions of nuclear bombs, triggering wildfires, shockwaves, tsunamis, and a global winter as dust blocked sunlight for years. Plant life collapsed first, and with it the giant herbivores. Predators followed shortly after, unable to survive without prey. More than 75% of all species on Earth vanished, including nearly all dinosaurs, except for those small feathered ones who evolved into birds. If that asteroid had missed Earth by even a few minutes, the world today might be ruled by intelligent raptors instead of humans. The extinction of dinosaurs paved the way for mammals to rise. Without gigantic reptilian competitors, small mammals evolved larger brains, diverse body structures, and eventually gave birth to primates and humans. In many ways, the fall of dinosaurs made our existence possible. Their bones became fossils buried deep in earth layers, silently waiting to be discovered by curious species millions of years later. Today, museums around the globe preserve their bones, offering glimpses into a world filled with thunderous footsteps, roaring predators, and towering plant eaters shaping ancient forests. Their story continues through science, imagination, and modern birds who carry their ancient legacy in their feathers, hollow bones, and even nesting behaviors. Every pigeon flying across a city, every hawk soaring above mountains, every parrot speaking human words, all are reminders that dinosaurs never truly disappeared. They changed, adapted, and took flight. The world dinosaurs ruled was not silent. It was loud, with the cries of predators marking territory, herds rumbling across plains, forest canopies alive with chirps, roars, and rustling feathers. Imagine a massive sauropod herd moving through ancient woodlands, each footstep shaking the earth like tremors. Trees bent beneath their weight as they stretched their long necks to strip branches clean. Smaller dinosaurs scurried through their shadows, feeding on fallen leaves or insects stirred by the giant's march. The sky above them was alive with flying reptiles gliding in search of fish and nesting grounds, their wing beats echoing over lakes shimmering in prehistoric sunlight. In this prehistoric world, senses were critical to survival. Dinosaurs did not depend on brute strength alone. Their eyes evolved for precision, many with color vision sharper than humans. Their noses could detect danger or scent prey miles away. Some, like hadrosaurs, developed intricate nasal chambers and crest shapes that allowed them to communicate through deep resonant calls across vast distances, their voices rolling like thunder across plains. Others evolved feathers with vibrant colors, using displays to intimidate rivals or attract mates. Many dinosaurs were far from the solitary monsters once imagined. They lived in structured societies with roles, cooperation, and emotional bonds. A mother Maiasaura cared for her nest, protecting eggs curled in a bed of vegetation, turning them carefully while keeping watch for predators. She fed her young after they hatched, returning often with food, nurturing the next generation. Fossilized nesting sites show dozens, even hundreds of individuals returning to the same breeding grounds year after year, much like penguin colonies or elephant herds today. Their existence was built not only on strength, but also on intelligence, instinct, and community. Elsewhere, in lush wetlands, Spinosaurus stalked riverbanks. Taller than Tyrannosaurus and no less fearsome, this strange and powerful hunter was adapted for aquatic life. With crocodile-like jaws filled with conical teeth and a long sail rising from its back, it swam through deep rivers hunting massive fish and engaging in territorial battles. Its world was wild, humid, and filled with dangerous rival predators. The splash of its powerful tail in water signaled the end for anything unfortunate enough to cross its path. Across oceans and prehistoric seas, the waters were controlled by monstrous marine reptiles. Mosasaurs patrolled coastlines with powerful jaws ready to crush giant ammonites or chase down swift marine prey. Their streamlined bodies and paddled limbs moved like underwater missiles. Plesiosaurs with elongated necks glided silently, striking like underwater serpents, while ichthyosaurs, resembling oversized dolphins, hunted in coordinated packs. The oceans, too, were ruled by reptilian titans, part of a greater evolutionary web that spanned land, seas, and skies. Yet life during the age of dinosaurs was not without challenge. Seasons shifted dramatically. Volcanic eruptions reshaped landscapes, and predator-prey arms races pushed species toward constant adaptation. A herd of ceratopsians grazing peacefully might suddenly encounter a pack of predators watching from tall grass. The thunderous sprint that followed would shake the ancient earth, hooves pounding soil, predators closing distances with agility and precision. A single misstep could mean death, while strength in numbers often meant survival. In dense jungles, smaller dinosaurs with feathered bodies and agile limbs leaped across branches, hunting insects or escaping larger predators. Their feathers were not for flight yet, but for insulation and display shimmering in dappled sunlight. These small evolutionary experiments would eventually give rise to creatures capable of soaring skies. Their early calls echoed through underbrush, marking the dawn of avian life. Time flowed like ancient rivers carving mountains. Millions of years passed as dinosaurs rose, evolved, and diversified in astounding forms. Each era had its rulers. In one epoch, armored giants defended themselves like mobile fortresses. In another, enormous predators fought brutal battles over territory and mates. The skies saw pterosaurs grow larger than any flying animal that would ever exist again. The earth belonged to them. It was shaped by them. Then everything changed in an instant. One ordinary day, a blazing object streaked across the sky faster than sound, burning the atmosphere as it plunged toward Earth. The asteroid slammed into the planet with unimaginable force, its explosion brighter than 1,000 suns. Shockwaves flattened forests. Tsunamis swallowed coastlines. Fires spread across continents. Dust and ash filled the sky, blocking sunlight, turning days into nights, warm tropical lands into freezing wastelands. Plants withered and ecosystems collapsed. The food chain shattered. For the first time in more than 150 million years, dinosaurs faced a threat they could not outrun, outfight, or outlast. Death swept the land, sea, and sky. The giant titans fell. The hunters starved. Nests turned cold and ecosystems crumbled under a darkened sky. But even in this overwhelming tragedy, life held on. Small mammals sheltered underground, feeding on roots and seeds. Tiny feathered dinosaurs, early birds, found refuge in trees and adapted to new food sources. They waited out devastation and emerged into a changed world once the skies cleared and warmth returned. After the extinction, the world dinosaurs once ruled became a planet of opportunity for new forms of life. Mammals grew and diversified. Primates evolved sharper minds and dexterous hands. Forests flourished with flowering plants and grasses. Human ancestors eventually appeared millions of years later, walking land shaped by ancient dinosaur footsteps. We rose not as their rivals, but as inheritors of a world transformed by their reign and their fall. Yet dinosaurs never truly disappeared. They live on in birds. Every eagle soaring above mountains, every ostrich sprinting across savannas, every parrot speaking in human voices. The trill of a songbird in the morning carries an ancient legacy, a thread of life stretching back to fierce raptors and powerful predators. Their feathers, their bones, their behaviors remind us that evolution is never final. It adapts, reshapes, and survives. Today, through paleontology, advanced 3D scanning, biomechanical modeling, and fossil DNA studies, we are uncovering not just bones, but behavior, sound, movement, and color. Scientists recreate how a tyrannosaur may have sounded, how a hadrosaur's crest resonated like a giant horn, how feathered raptors groomed themselves and displayed mating dances like modern birds. Museums preserve fossils that once lay buried under ancient earth, giving us windows into time so distant that human imagination can barely grasp its scale. The story of dinosaurs is not a tale of monsters, but a story of nature's brilliance. It is a story of giants and hunters, caretakers and hatchlings, ecosystems and evolution. It is a story about life's rise, dominance, and sudden vulnerability. And it is a reminder that even the greatest species can fall, not from weakness but from forces beyond control. Their bones rest in stone, their footprints fossilized in ancient mud, but their spirit remains alive every time a bird takes flight or a curious child imagines a roaring tyrannosaur. They ruled a world we never saw, yet they shaped the world we inherited. Through them we learn the power of adaptation, the fragility of life, and the extraordinary beauty of Earth's evolutionary history. And so whenever you hear wings flapping or a bird singing, remember, the age of dinosaurs never truly ended. It simply evolved and continues around us every single day.